Hi everybody and welcome back to Yokai Hime's voiceovers. Today we will be doing episode 7 of Florian Atlas's route for Love Spell Written in the Stars. So let's begin. At the sound of seagulls, my eyes slowly flutter open. I look out the window to see it's dawn as pastel hues decorate the morning sky. I look down to see Professor Atlas's arm wrapped protectively around me as I hear him breathing softly against my back. Thoughts of last night resurface, and I can't help but nervously bite my lip. Last night, as wonderful as it was, we crossed a line far beyond student and teacher, one that we can never return from. Snore. Who would have thought that the great, eloquent, and esteemed Florian Atlas snores? My nervousness dissipates as I slowly turn around to peer into his serene face. As I brush blonde hair out of his closed eyes, heat rises in my cheeks, as I can't help but recall how passionately he made love to me last night. He's waking up. Oh no, what do I do? Pretend to be asleep. He stirs, and I instinctively close my eyes to feign sleep. Good morning, love. I silently lay there, hoping to pass off as I silently lay there, hoping to pass off as being fast asleep, when I feel him rub light circles on my cheek. He props himself upright before leaving a chaste kiss on my lips. Don't pretend like you're asleep, or should I find a way to wake you? At this, I feel a tickling sensation around my waist, and my eyes shoot wide open. No! Wait, please! Ha ha ha! To think you were hiding how adorably ticklish you are from me all this time. You're terribly cruel, Yona. Before I have a chance to protest further, he's tickling me, and I'm laughing under him. Tears well up in my eyes as I beg for him to stop. As he does, a warm, tender smile plays at his lips, and he kisses my forehead. Don't tickle me. How could you? You're the terrible one. Now, don't give me that look. You definitely didn't seem like you were having such a bad time last night. In an effort to hide my crimson cheeks, I bury my face in his chest as I feel his arms wrap around me tenderly. Suddenly, I feel him chuckling. I peer up at him suspiciously as red cheeks and a wide grin now grace his face. What is it? What's that look for? Nothing. It's just... You screamed out Professor Atlas so many times last night. I might have developed a concerning association. I can feel my cheeks turn scarlet as I hide my face in my hands. His laugh only grows as he pulls me tighter into his arms. Why is it that I can only laugh this easily around you, Because you're a terrible, terrible man who enjoys making innocent girls like me suffer. Well, my sincerest apologies. You're just too adorable, and I can't resist the temptation. As the cries of seagulls grow louder and the room grows brighter, I bring a finger to trace his lips. He grabs my hand and affectionately kisses my palm. Today's the day, right? Should we go get ready for that meeting? Probably, but... My heart lights up as he pulls me even closer, nuzzling into my neck. It feels like I've found a much greater treasure. I don't want to let it go. I giggle as I wrap my arms around him again. For the first time in my life, I feel that I've known true bliss. After a couple of minutes, the professor gets up and picks me up bridal style. He winks at me with a coy smirk, while a coy smirk tugs at his lips. Up for another shower? Not like the one last night did us any good. Before I can even answer, he starts heading towards the bathroom with me in his arms. A few hours later. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. We will now begin the debriefing for the Flor de la Mar excavation mission. Dr. Lankdar pulls up a presentation alongside another scientist as he begins explaining the origin of the Flor de la Mar and dissecting the sonar images that we were sent. I can't help but feel excited as I look around the room to watch everyone listening intently to the doctor's discourse. However, late last night we received some unprecedented news from the National Weather Association. At a shift in tone, I can feel the atmosphere in the room grow tense. Dr. Lankdar frowns as he pulls up the next slide. It depicts the path of a newly formed typhoon heading straight for the islands. Murmurs and whispers begin to rise all around the room. I look up at Professor Atlas and see a visibly disturbed expression on his face. Dr. Lankdar, if that projected path is correct, it means that the site of the wreck is falling straight through the typhoon's center in less than 48 hours. Dr. Lankdar nods solemnly before turning to face the screen again. Correct, Professor Atlas, and I'm afraid that isn't the worst of it. Gasps emerge around the room as a new sonar image taken early this morning is displayed on the screen. It shows that the ship has literally moved and is on a projected path that approaches a large underwater canyon. The ship moved? How is that even possible? If the typhoon doesn't get to it first, that ship's gonna plummet over the cliff, and there's no way anything will be left to salvage. Professor Atlas stands up and silences the room as he motions towards the new sonar image. Silence. Dr. Lankdar, please explain that image. Thank you, Professor. Yes, well, I'm afraid the ship is intent on remaining one of the world's lost treasures. An underwater current, which we believe to be a product of the fast-approaching storm, is pushing the ship towards an underground peak. Frankly, we have never seen anything like it before. Dr. Langdon's tone grows low as he shakes his head. It greatly pains me to say this, but nature will not be granting us the time to properly excavate this wondrous find. And once that ship plunges over the edge of that canyon, or the typhoon hits the side of the wreck, it's the end for the Fleur de la Mar. I can only stare and worry as scientists and researchers around the room tear their hands through their hair. Many others remain hauntingly quiet. However, we still have some time to salvage something in particular. At his tone, heads snap up again to take in a new slide. An old photo of an ancient golden cross encrusted with emeralds, diamonds, rubies, and a multitude of other precious stones is shown on the screen. O Coracal do Anjo. Correct. The O Coracal do Anjo, or the Angel's Heart, was one of the greatest Portuguese treasures ever recorded in ancient history, and historians believe it was on the Fleur de la Mar when the ship fell into its watery grave. As he changes to the next slide, various people rise from their chairs, myself included, at the information that appears on the screen. Professor Atlas narrows his eyes as a deep frown sets on his face. This relic alone is estimated to be worth around $1.3 billion. The room erupts in a commotion as scientists and researchers alike begin to throw questions and concerns at the screen. Various presenters attempt to calm them down, but Dr. Langdar speaks over them. The Indonesian government has tasked me with putting together a small elite force to go on a salvaging mission for this artifact alone. Obviously, we lack the luxury of time, so said crew would be leaving tomorrow at daybreak. But sir, that's a suicide mission. The typhoon is expected to hit us tomorrow night. Given the current instability of the sea, the water will be the farthest thing from clear. Locating the ship itself will be difficult on its own. And even with sonar technology, there's still an insanely low chance of being able to rescue such a specific object, if it's even in the ship to begin with. Yes, more than anyone, we understand the dangers involved in this dive. Hence, why this is a volunteer mission. There's no telling what could happen down there. Seems like he's planning for something to happen down there. Like, why would you say that unless you... Like, we can do this, guys. But, yeah, something's gonna happen. However, this is the first, and quite literally the last time, we will ever get the chance to recover one of history's greatest lost remnants. O Coracal do Anjo has more than just monetary worth. It's a key that can open the gates of an understanding a past era in its entirety, and even holds other untold answers about the Fleur de la Mar. I can't help but swallow hard as Dr. Langdar narrows his eyes dangerously at the audience. Everyone has calmed down considerably as they process his words. So now that I've communicated the dangers and the virtues, I ask, are there any volunteers? The room goes silent for a few minutes. A handful of researchers begin shaking their heads. The tension in the room could be cut with a knife. What should I do? Honestly, I never understood the tension in the room could be cut with a knife thing. Because, I mean, if it's thick, shouldn't it not be able to be cut with a knife? Like, okay, stay silent. I bite my lip and glance around. No, the atmosphere is too heavy. I don't want to say the wrong thing and make matters worse. Better to stay quiet and watch how things unfold. After a few silent moments, I watch Professor Atlas rise slowly among the audience. I volunteer. My heart pounds in my chest as I can't help but grab his arm in worry. He turns to face me and shoots me a wry smile as he grabs my hand and squeezes it tightly. One after another, several other figures around the room all stand up to join him. Dr. Langdar smiles as he eyes the room, an unknown glint gleaming in his eyes. See? He's sus. He's really sus. Excellent. A few moments pass, and I also attempt to rise out of my seat to volunteer. But Professor Atlas forcefully pushes me down without giving me a chance to speak nor stand. He shoots me a look and shakes his head while mouthing the words, "No." Dr. Langdar looks around the room and he motions towards a dressed official. The presentation ends and he turns around to face the audience. Those of you who have valiantly chosen to participate in this groundbreaking mission, please follow me to another meeting area where we will discuss the details of what the dive will entail. If we are going to salvage anything off that ship, preparations need to start this second. As for the rest of you, I advise to start preparing for inclement weather. As Dr. Langdar leaves the room, people begin filing out and murmuring. I stand up with a confused expression, but Professor Atlas grabs my arm and pulls me close enough to whisper. You are not going on this dive. Do you hear me? But why? Dr. Langdar said they need all the help they can get and... No, this is not something to be debated. You are going to stay here and pass the typhoon. The minute that storm ends, I want you to get on a plane and go home. Am I understood? My eyes widen and I can't believe what I'm hearing. I shake my head defiantly. Professor Atlas... No, Florian, please listen to me. I want to help, more than anything. Please, even if it's a small role, let me play it. Let me help you. I'm begging you. This mission, it's important to me too. So please, let me help. I promise I won't get in the way. Don't you trust me? Professor Atlas lets out an exasperated sigh as he removes his glasses and rubs his temple, shaking his head. It's not about trust, Yona. You lack any and all experience in this sort of thing, and Bringing you here was a mistake. I blink my eyes as the pain throbs in my heart. Images of last night pass in my mind. Mistake? Professor Atlas shakes his head as he lets out a sigh. That's not what I meant. It was the wrong choice of words. What do you even see me as? A burden? A child? Or maybe just a joke? Tears well up in my eyes as I can feel my heart breaking. Suddenly, an official approaches us and motions towards the door with his head, signaling they're waiting for the professor. Yona, I don't have time for this right now. I need to get to this meeting, and you need to follow my orders and get ready for this storm. That's the end of this discussion. Without even giving me a second to protest, the professor briskly exits the room with the official without even so much as glancing back. I close the door to my room before a soft sob escapes me. Tears fall from my eyes as Professor Atlas's words replay in my mind over and over again. Hearing me, Philia waddles out from under the bed with a worried look. Master! Why are you crying? Does your tummy hurt? I quickly wipe my tears and kneel down to pat my little penguin's head in an attempt to keep from worrying her further. I'm fine, Philia. This was all a mistake. I should have never come here in the first place. Master! But you were so excited about this. Philia watched you stay up all night studying really, really hard. You said you were going to, what was it again? History in the making, or something like that. I can't help but force a smile at the small creature in front of me. I watched as Philia grabbed my Archaeology 101 book from my bag, now filled with highlighter markings, outlines, and notes, almost as if to strengthen her point. I was, Philia. I felt so passionate about this trip, unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. I've hardly slept in days just from trying to prepare for this, and he didn't even give me a chance to prove it. Didn't even give it a second thought. I wasn't asking to go on the dive. I really wanted to help in any way that I could, but even that was asking for too much. I don't know where I stand with him. I don't know what's real and what isn't. I don't even know why I'm here. Another tear falls from my eye as I sit down on my bed staring at the cover of the archaeology textbook. Philia sadly waddles up to me and offers me a potato chip as a consolation. Philia knows she might not be the best penguin to say this, but Philia thinks Master shouldn't give up on her dreams. My eyes widen as I stare incredulously at the small penguin next to me. My dreams? Of course! Isn't Master's dream to rescue old ships or something? Philia doesn't really get it, But she does know one thing. Master always seems happiest when she talks about Mr. Atlas, or whenever she talks about old ancient ships and buildings and stuff. I look down at the book in front of me and stare at the cover page. The professor shoots me a wry smile as he leans back to sit on the corner of my desk and crosses his arms. Well, the thought occurred to me that you didn't have a dream. Perhaps I could share mine with you. You know, it's often said that following one's dreams is the most perilous, yet greatest adventure one can ever embark on. I stand up as my heart starts pounding at the realization I've come to. Philia stares at me bewildered as I pace around the room. I can't help but break into a smile as I spin around to face her. Philia, I have a dream. 'Cause way down deep inside I have a dream. Yeah. Philia thought we just talked about this. No, you don't understand. I didn't have a dream before. Up until just recently, I've never found something in my life that I could call that. Saying that something that I could say I wanted more badly than anything? A reason to wake up and fight for every day? But I grabbed the archaeology book, along with all of my notes, and I clutched them to my chest, feeling a sense of overwhelming gratitude. All of this, it fills me with so much wonder and curiosity and excitement. I still don't know what the future might hold for me, but I do know how I feel about all of this. It makes me so happy. He makes me so happy. Philia smiles excitedly as she stares up at me. So does Master admit that she has two dreams then? I chuckle as heat flushes my face, and I stare down at the books. Yes, and both of my dreams are leaving on that dive tomorrow. There's no way I can just stay behind. I place the book down as a fire fills my heart and burns more brightly than ever before in my life. I'm sorry, Professor. You went after your dreams, so I'm going after mine. Alright, I need to get on that ship. I need to prove that I am serious about this. But how? I don't even know where to start. And there's no way he's going to let me into that meeting. The sound of potato chips crunching snaps me out of my thoughts as I stare at Philia immersing herself in a bag. I raise an eyebrow as a diabolical idea pops into my head. Oh, Philia! Oh no! Why is Master staring at me like that? Stop that! It's scary! Philia, you said other humans can't see you, right? Well, no, except my current master and... I lift the little penguin up in the air and bring my face close to hers. Philia, I need you to help. I need your help for a top secret mission. The reward is 100 packs of cheese. 100 packs of cheese? That's right. I need you to sneak into a room without being seen and write down everything the people in there are saying on this paper. Can you do that? For 100 packs of cheese, Philia can do anything. I grin triumphantly as I high-five for Flipper. Let's do this. Fleur de la Mar, here we come. Well, that's it for episode 7. Next time, I will be doing episode 8, Lost in the Blue.